As Your Heart Betrays You, Part 19. A Miraculous Ladybug Fanfiction written and narrated by Mira Rose. Artwork by Evenart Adam on Instagram and Tumblr. You can find a link to them in the description box below. Go give them lots of love. Now then, if you haven't enjoyed the previous 18 parts of the story, you can find them linked in the description box as well. Go do that. It's all right available. You should go do that. And if you are still listening and haven't subscribed, you should do that too, and leave a comment in the comment section if you don't know what to put. Man, this is a rough recording take. Comment dinner. Please enjoy As Your Heart Betrays You, Part 19. Marinette Dupang Chang, 21 years old. Marinette didn't tell her roommate about her discussion with Cat Noir, besides the drinks left on the coffee table. Keeping the Kwamis calm proved hard enough, and she didn't want the mental gymnastics of regurgitating her emotional state without implying there was anything else going on. Thankfully, Tiki rallied her comrades as soon as she detransformed, bribing them with her personal stash of cookies. Bless her. Marinette would be sure to refill it with the Oreos from the American section of the grocery store. If nothing else, Marinette could allow herself to be swept away in the drama of the drop, not the custom-ordered drink made the way she liked it, or Cat Noir's eyes on her neckline, or what he said about Ladrien falling in love with her, even if it was in jest. No. Her world would be star patches on cardigans and thermal printer labels and thank you cards that double as order receipts. None of that was Cat Noir. None of it was Cat Noir, except for when she sipped on that custom-ordered drink made just the way she liked it, now lukewarm, except for the sparked heat in her cheeks when she thought of Cat Noir's eyes on her neckline, and when she thought about what he said of Ladrien falling in love with her. Fall couldn't come sooner. Marinette felt sunbaked and weary, and yearned for a crisp, fresh start. But how's a girl to do that with a friendly black cat and her heart in jeopardy? Sunflowers, apple picking, and cider. That would be her reward when the time came. Her 5-year plan was still intact, in motion even, so she could focus on enjoying the moment instead of living in the future. And we're sold out, Alya quipped, hitting her laptop's spacebar a little more aggressively than needed. Already? Marinette's bangs stuck to her forehead, itching her skin as sweat prickled. I think you mean finally. She tossed her hair and stretched, leaning away from the computer as the final shipping label printed. New record? Almost as big as the Christmas drop. This year we should do little Christmas tree patches. Marinette laughed and nodded. Yes, that sounds enticing. Who knows? You might even have a cat to curl up with in front of the fire. Ah, yes. There it was. The now routine Cat Noir tease. What? You don't want black cat patches for Halloween? Listen. Alya leaned back until she flopped onto the rug in front of the sofa. I'd never want to be an American, but those rebels go hard for autumn. It's a holiday that lasts for months, even without Halloween. And, the superheroes? Yeah. A grin split her face. And the superheroes. I picked out a dress for the gala. Alya sat up, hitting her elbow on the coffee table. You what now? Crazy, right? Marinette tucked a piece of hair behind her ear, then turned back to packaging an order of the Star Patch assortment in maroon, and one in silver. Yeah, the Kwamis liked it. The cut, neckline, color? Have you finally decided to go orange instead of red? Because pink and orange are so flattering for photos, given you don't wear them together. Did you make the dress, or will it be magical spandex? Did you show it to Cat Noir, or Adrian? Does Adrian know what to wear to match you? Or do you not want to match him? I mean, any publicity is good, pub and all that, but, like, you constantly shut down Lady Noir rumors. Why should Ladrien be any different? Unless, of course, you think. Alya! Marinette sealed the package and tossed it into a bin before opening another bag. Please! All right, record player. I'm tired of spinning around you, too. High neckline, by the way. She could picture her best friend's face, eyebrows and all. Are you looking forward to it? The lack of amusement in her voice caught Marinette off guard. That's... She grabbed another mailer. Adrian's not the person I'm interested in, you know. I know. She heard the coffee table wiggle as Alya used it to stand up. But I also know how you get around him. Yeah. You do. We can make s'mores when you're back. Thanks. She smiled softly at the idea of their post-heartbreak tradition. They were already planning on her coming home a bit chipped, weren't they? Jumbo marshmallows, of course. Of course, Alya echoed, tossing her hair. Our bins are full. I'll take the first round to the post, okay? You mean call Nino for his truck? Excuse you? No. His legs, duh. Or do you not remember all of the stairs between our apartment and ground level? Marinette laughed, enjoying the moment of peace. I can't believe you didn't call me out for calling it a truck. Right. His music trailer. You'd think for someone so successful, he'd get a real place. Remember when YouTube suddenly recommended van life to, like, everyone? I know, we've discussed, and I agree. I don't know how, but somehow it's a big MLM. Well, at least he came to his senses before getting rid of his apartment. Yeah, because you said you'd never spend more than 2 consecutive nights in it. Anyway, he's downstairs. I'm gonna go motivate him with a kiss. Marinette stood and stretched, grabbing a tub. Come on, they won't move themselves. You're no fun. You know Nino's been trying to get his steps in, considering he has a desk job. If only he could be like his super cool girl boss girlfriend. You know it, dude, Alya said, imitating him. But you know what would be super? You're gonna bring up Cat Noir again, aren't you? If you had your cat boy come over and he could lug these bins downstairs. Come on, steps are good for you. The rest of the week fell away in a blur, much like the leaves turning color. Paris was still green, no doubt, but the trees began to change, and Marinette knew the colors would come all at once. The mornings were crisp now, despite the scorching afternoon sun, and Marinette couldn't be more excited. She'd gotten her cardigans from her parents' house, even if they were too hot to wear by 10 in the morning, and she snuggled in them as much as she could. One more spin! Trix exclaimed, sitting on Alya's stomach as they shared a bowl of popcorn that Marinette had, no doubt, bought. With a smile and a sigh, Ladybug did as she was told, spinning her dress for the Kwamis to gasp at. They'd also given some suggestions, but, well, their tastes were a bit outdated. Girl, if Adrian Agreste doesn't ask for a second date, I'm gonna kick him in the... Alya began, but Ladybug shot her a look. Not a date, remember? Still gonna kick him in the cojones. You're ridiculous. From the girl escorting her ex after making up with him, but he doesn't know that. Ladybug narrowed her eyes. Touché. Go make him fall in love, babe. Alya jutted her chin toward the window. It's go time. Right. Go time. It's not as if he was going to pick her up. They'd meet there. Well, they'd meet just outside. But what Alya didn't know was Marinette told her the wrong time because, as much as she loved her, her best friend could be insufferable at times, and Ladybug felt the weight of the room on her. Leaving early for a breath of fresh air was the right decision after all. Ladybug zipped to the roof of the Notre Dame Cathedral, letting the sounds of the city and the gentle breeze calm her in a moment of moving stillness. And who knows? If he was around, her cat might join her. Ladybug couldn't help her grin as she heard someone land behind her, and stood. Cat? She turned on her heel, but her momentum carried her too far. Ladybug stumbled as she tried to stop, recognizing the person in front of her. Papi Garçon, she whispered. Her escort detransformed out of his purple suit, shrugging. I couldn't think of another way to get up here, Ladrien said, leaning into Nuru as the Kwami hugged his cheek. Oh, right. Her stomach garbled, twisting with centipedes instead of the gentle butterflies she used to foster for this man. She'd given the okay to Ladrien to keep his father's miraculous, and yet it gave her a demon of anxiety whenever she remembered it. He might be a floozy, but Ladrien was a good guy, so she should be able to trust him with his now family heirloom. She should. And yet she couldn't trust him. Not entirely. And she couldn't pin why, aside from her heartbreak and his father being a literal terrorist. Him becoming Papi Garçon should have made sense, like a perfect fit, but somehow it didn't fit him. Not the way it should. You're a bit early, he said, pulling out a bottle of something bright and pink from his jacket, cracking the cap open and using it as a cup for his Kwami. Lychee? She asked, unsure what else to say. Guava juice. Ah, right. No cat today? No. You weren't planning on meeting him before, were you? No. Ladybug shook her head, forcing herself to make eye contact with him. It was one thing to speak with Ladrien Agreste. It was another to speak with Hawkmoth's son after seeing him transformed. I'm just catching some air. Have you eaten? Excuse me? Would you like to get dinner together before we go? Heat hit her cheeks, and she thought of Cat Noir. Cat. Her cat. What had he said? He'd asked her if she was going with Ladrien to the gala out of obligation. Obligation? Yeah. No. She knew better. Ladybug knew better than this. She'd even told Cat she would choose him over anyone, including this Agreste boy, over and over again, and yet it's just dinner. And they were headed to the same place, and she hadn't eaten yet. Dinner. Sure. For a flicker of a moment, she thought he was surprised, but Ladrien proved to be as smooth as he ever was, pushing away any hesitation with a smile. Well then, he said, closing the distance between them. Would you be willing to escort me off this roof? Ladybug laughed, realizing what he meant. Oh, Mr. Agreste, she laughed, sliding an arm around his waist. "It would be my delight." And with her heart pounding in her ears, they leapt, zipping through downtown Paris as faces of surprise passed them, without enough time to pull out their cameras. Adrian's laughter matched her own, and she didn't realize how light it made her feel, a contrast to his body weight. This was all she'd wanted at this point. This lightness sang so strong that for once she couldn't feel or hear her heart fight her brain. There was danger in that happiness. But it was one night with a guy who she didn't have to micromanage her feelings and relationship around. What a traitorous realization. She could do nearly whatever she wanted. Let go, be free for one night, like Cinderella, and that would be the end of it. One night with a known womanizer that made her heartbeat pitter-patter. Ladybug could keep it close to her heart, a secret she'd never let anyone know. What she didn't tell Cat Noir wouldn't hurt him. Thank you so much for listening. Part 20 is on the way. If you're still listening, subscribe if you haven't. Okay, thanks. And comment one night in the comment section. Thank you so much, and I will see you in part 20. Bye!